Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, here with my lovely co-host, Matt Hunt. How you doing today, Matt Hunt?
Hey girl, I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about the festivities that happened this week.
Absolutely. The festivities were good. I definitely enjoy these last 4 episodes of The Circle US Season 2. So, what were your overall thoughts? I know that you say festivities, but were these enjoyable? Do you give them thumbs up? How do you feel?
It was good. I actually loved it. I thought there was a lot of humor in the last 4 episodes. I was in tears multiple times just laughing because it was just so hilarious. But I thought there was a lot of strategy going on in the last 4 episodes too. So more so than we've seen before. So I was pretty excited about it.
Absolutely. And I'm really actually liking a lot of these characters a lot. Like, just seeing their conversations with themselves and what they're, why they're playing and all that stuff. Like, it really, we've gotten to know them really quite well. And so I'm really enjoying these last 4 episodes. How many episodes
Hmm.
are there next week? Is it just the finale, or is it like four
It's
more
just
episodes?
one.
Just one? Okay.
Just
Gotcha.
one. I think. I think it's just one more next Wednesday.
Cool beans. So, episode 9, we start off with being introduced to John. So, John is 64. They're decided. So, John is being played by Emily, who was Jack, and then Lance, who was Lisa, will be playing a new catfish profile, John. So, John, they decided he's going to be 64 from Morgantown, West Virginia. They want him to have some big dad energy. And so he has to be a psychic, but I thought it was a really smart of Jack to say like, oh, but we know some things about the players, so we might be able to use that to our advantage with us being a psychic. Because before I was like, oh, that's kind of mean for them to like give them that, but they did actually give them surprisingly more tools than I was expecting for them to be able to play a psychic. So, and he's a father of 3. So what do you think about their decisions on some of the character descriptions and who John is as a person?
I thought actually he did a really good job, to be honest. I thought that having him be a gay man who's married will link himself to, River and Courtney being gay, like having that connection, something to connect themselves with. And the kids, with Trevor, like I thought they did a really good job with incorporating what they knew the others had going on so that they could find a way to kind of get themselves in there. And yeah, I agree. I like that they had a lot of thoughts about the psychic stuff. You know what I mean? Like answering questions based on the things they knew about the cast already. So it was great. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. And like, I kind of like them both playing John more than I like them each playing Emily or Lance. So that's something too,
Hundred
because I feel
percent.
like, why didn't they give this to Tara Alicia and Savannah or something? Like that would have been really exciting to see them trying to get along in that room together. And so I was like, kind of like, oh, that was a missed opportunity. And so they started off doing a
Yeah.
pretty decent job. So there's the reveal. This circle message has a reveal of Emily being Jack and the reveal of Lance being Lisa. But Lisa does say to her circle fam that she will introduce them to Lance. So there's that. And Lance has been everywhere. He was on. He was on Overserved with Lisa Vanderpump. I haven't seen the actual episode, but I saw him in the clips. And then I don't know if you probably watched RuPaul's Drag Race, but you saw that like he had a cameo on RuPaul's Drag Race. So he's really making the circuit now. Does he have a book coming out? Like, what's going on with Lance?
I think he's still doing his YouTube thing. But yeah, he's kind of everywhere. I'm pretty sure I saw him. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I saw him on like a music video for Todrick Hall, maybe. Like he's kind of
Probably.
everywhere. Yeah, he's
Probably. He
doing
seems to
his
be
own
doing a
thing.
lot right now. But this whole blocking, it makes everybody wonder who River and Lance went to go and see. And so this kind of begins the demise of, spoiler alert, guys, of Kat. Because Kat thinks that everybody's a liar. Kat was like, he had to have gone to see Chloe and she wasn't believing anything else. And they didn't go and see anybody. So I'm wondering why she was so dead set on it, because whenever somebody does go and see someone in the circle, it says, oh, it's coming to see one of you now. Did they do that message last episode? Did they say that?
well, that's what it said. It did say
They
that.
did
It
say
said,
that?
like,
Okay.
that they'll come see you now. But that's why that all started. You know what I mean? It's because the screen said that they were going to go visit somebody. Who was it, right? So that's why Kat went off on her little But I think part of it is because Kat had it in her head based off of what the Joker said, that Chloe couldn't be trusted anyway, plus the fact that
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense that she would go see Chloe, that she thought she was lying. So I think at this
Yes.
point she was trying to put the target on Chloe to get herself an in, but it ended up obviously backfiring on her. So
100%. I mean, it makes sense. But Emily didn't go to see Chloe anyways. She had the intentions of going to see Trevor, and Lance had the intention of going to see River. So Chloe was never going to be seen no matter what. And so Kat's theory here even still has a little bit of a hole, because it wouldn't have been her anyway. So I thought that that was interesting, especially when Kat was like, she was laying her whole game on the notion that Chloe
yeah,
can't be trusted. She's not being telling the truth here. Even though they opened the circle chat and Chloe said, like, I'm actually really surprised that she didn't come and see me. So,
yeah,
it's a problem.
very interesting. I thought it was really clever of them to introduce that because to them they didn't want things to look out of the ordinary, so they just made it look like they were like they always do, go to see somebody, right? But little did they know, or maybe they did know, that it would stir up a whole bunch of drama, and we were here for that tea, sis.
I think they knew that it was coming, because, or that drama was going to be a result of this, because yeah, they led that up. They set that up for sure. So
Oh,
Trevor
for
though wants
sure.
to build a bromance with Mitchell, so which is kind of a good idea. Like Trevor has his connection with Chloe. Now he's kind of like, okay, I need to bring in another guy here. And so, but like Mitchell is really, really surprised that Emily was, well, not really surprised, but he kind of was like, I knew it, but like he was slightly duped, I'd say. And he's like, my Beyonce turned out to be Jay-Z. So I thought that he was kind of funny. He took it well.
He did. I thought it was funny, and I mean, it shouldn't have been that much of a shock after that
So again,
awful glamican. That was a dead giveaway. So the
yeah,
shock would have worn off at that point a little bit.
yeah, the Glamican definitely turned him into the Jay-Z over Beyonce for sure. Like he did not know anything about
I
makeup.
I have a question for you though, Chantal. Is your favorite makeup brand Collection Co?
Absolutely, 100% Collection Co. Actually, absolutely not. I mean, obviously, it's not a real brand, but like as we said last week, Mac, NARS,
That's
Estee
I
Lauder.
that
Like
will
I don't know,
literally
there's so many.
I think be my favorite part of this season was that it was so funny.
Did I send you the TikTok?
No, no.
Let's see if I can pull it up here. Hold on. Let's see what I can do. It's kind of the funniest thing I've seen. I need to find it though. Okay, hold on. Where did I send it?
I can't wait to see this. I'm not gonna lie.
I know it's so. Or should I put it up on my phone? Would that be better? No, I want to put it up on here. Where are you, TikTok? Okay, I think. Can I do it like this? I should have planned this.
That's okay. I
Okay, well,
kind
I
of just
wonder if
thrown
I
it up.
can use that. Okay, let me see. No, I'm gonna use my phone because I don't think that this window will be allowed to be seen. So,
Okay.
oh, this is the moment. It's so funny. This is live TV, people. Okay.
that on Jack's TikTok or someone else's?
I believe it was Jack's TikTok. Yeah.
That's too much. I can't even handle it.
So I thought that was kind of funny. I definitely laughed a little bit when I saw that. Another alliance kind of was made by Kat. So the Southern Queens, and so in her message to the Southern Queens, so that is River. Who else is in the Southern Queens? Is it River and Courtney? Must be.
Yes, it was River and Courtney because I specifically remember them being like, Courtney being like, nope, you're trying it, but nope. I'll be
Well,
cordial. I remember that.
A little bit forceful here, saying messy hoes and like trying to get in where we fit in. And, River's kind of trying to bring up Mitchell maybe. And I just felt that Kat was doing too much. Like, even if you had this information, even if it was true, you don't want to piss anybody else off because it's a blocking system. Like, that's how it goes. You have to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
People have to be likable. And, with her doing too much here, it just made her just unlikable. And even to me, I was kind of like, oh, I was rooting for you, Kat. Like, you didn't really take some discernment here and figure out how to deal with the situation a little bit more appropriately.
It was literally like night and day. Like the first episode she was in, I was like, oh my god, I love this girl. And then something happened. Like, I don't know if she decided to change up her gameplay or if something triggered her to become a different player, but something happened and she just kind of lost it for me anyway.
Yes, exactly. She totally lost it. And, Courtney and River are going directly into their Kardashian chat with Chloe to let her know that Kat doesn't really like her anymore and is not believing her and kind of is saying that she's a liar here. So this is a really bad move on Kat's part. I don't know why she didn't just think maybe to slow play it, maybe to see how they felt about it, maybe to see whether or not they're in alliance with Chloe. Like, she didn't use that information well at all.
She could have been more cautious with it. Could have spoken less abrasively. She could have been more, brought it up nonchalantly to see if she would get a response. But no, she was, like you said, she was too abrupt with the information and too kind of like forceful, like force feeding them that Chloe was lying when she still doesn't even know if that's true or not. So
exactly. So we get an alert and John is finally introduced into the circle. And Lee, he's such a sweet soul. He just wants John's profile to be true, the big mustache and around the same age as him, or the real him. And so they liked his answers. They really liked his profile. I think everyone pretty much likes him at this point. So far they're doing a good job as John. How do you think about his introduction to the circle? How did that go?
I think it was good. Like, it was pretty casual, pretty chill. Like, he wasn't too John, Jack and Lisa. They weren't too forceful. They kind of sat back a little bit to let them bring up the whole psychic thing. But yeah, so I thought they did a really good job. And the best part was during that, ask me what number I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And they're like, I love that they kind of played along with it. You know what I mean? I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Courtney though. See, Courtney's also somebody that's doing a little bit too much, in my opinion. He kind of he was using it as an opportunity to see if he can catch, him. And I was just kind of just step back a little bit, Courtney. You don't need to you're already pushing Mitchell. You don't need to come out guns blazing with this new character. You kind of have to fade to the background a little bit so people are not worried about telling you things because you might just go off and say something, So I felt like Courtney was starting to do a little bit too much as well. So he was asking them whether or not, to pick what number, to tell me what number I'm thinking of. And he was like, okay, I'll tell you what number. And then I will also give you a little mini reading where he used some of the information that he knew about them to kind of influence it. So I thought that they handled it pretty well. And I also liked that everybody that participated in that, how they he got the numbers wrong, but they pretended like he got it right. I think that was the way to play it for all of them.
Yes. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was well done.
Hi, it's Latasha. They definitely work better together. However, I feel more Jack than Lisa. I totally agree. Yeah. I do feel that Lisa, she's not really, she kind of just agrees with whatever Jack decides. She doesn't really seem to put in her own influence, really. She's kind of like, oh yeah, that's good. Oh, I like that. Oh, instead of her taking the lead here. And so that's probably why she didn't do very well at Lance, because she doesn't take the initiative to like start anything, to have an action plan and set it forward. So yeah, they definitely work better together, but it's basically Jack getting some like encouragement from Lisa, basically.
I would agree with that 100%.
So we had a Geek Sheet quiz. There's 2 teams. So one team was John, and then because Chloe was the most recent influencer, she's the other team captain. John chose Trevor, River, and Courtney, and Chloe chose Kat and Mitchell on her team. And so they kind of had like a little geek outfit with some suspenders and like some glasses and like a bow tie. I was surprised that Mitchell put on a shirt. Were you?
I was actually, that's funny you say that, because I was literally thinking as this was all happening, I'm like, I wonder if he'll put a shirt on.
I
was literally thinking it.
Me too, but he did wear a shirt.
2 times that we've seen that this whole season so far is him putting a shirt on twice. That's it.
I mean, I think that he probably did his casting interview with his shirt off.
Pretty much. It's like, if you take your shirt off and leave it off for the entire season, we'll cast you. He's like, sure, guys, let's do it.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I'll do that. So the first question was a math question. And so it was blank shades of gray times how many Toy Story films there were, minus how many stripes on the American flag, and blank problems in a sorry, is it plus? I think it's plus. Yeah, plus blank problems in a Jay-Z song. So did you get all those answers correct to be able to solve it?
Yes, because I knew that it was 3 50 Shades. 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Grey, or 50 Shades Free, or something like that. So there's 3. And then I knew there's 4 Toy Stories, because I've seen all 4 of them. So I would have gotten that part. The flag thing, it would have taken me a little while, but I would have figured the 13 colonies or whatever, so I would have said 13. Yeah, and who doesn't know 99 Problems?
Well, who doesn't? Lee doesn't. River does not know 99 Problems. He said 100 Problems, which is like, okay, Lee, come on. It's definitely not 100 Problems.
Definitely not. I don't understand. Like, that would have been a huge red flag for me. It would have been like, this is not River. Come on.
I mean, I guess he could play it off like, oh, like I don't really listen to hip hop, like I don't really know who Jay-Z is, I guess. But like that song is pretty popular. I would imagine that everybody knew it. So not River though, unfortunately. So the next question was sports, and the people that were asked to answer were going to be Trevor and Kat, because Trevor's, a guy that's seemingly into sports, and then Kat is a sports, like a professional volleyball player. So these are 2 good picks to potentially get some points for their teams. So they showed 3 pictures of 3 basketball players. Did you know all 3?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't. I knew Jesus. I knew of Dennis Rodman, and I knew
Michael Jordan.
Oh my God,
Michael
Jordan, thank you. But I didn't know who the middle one was. I would never have guessed Scottie Pippen. So.
Okay, no, I knew who they were. It could be because, rest in peace, Scottie Pippen's son actually just passed away, I believe, like last week. So his face has been in, on like my news feed kind of thing. So, but I also know, like, I follow the Kardashians, and so Scottie's ex-wife Larsa is sometimes on the Kardashians, and she's kind of in that world. So I'm kind of refamiliarized myself with him. So he's in my thought, so I know who he is for sure. But I was really worried for Trevor, but I loved that Delisa was able to just like, I don't know, I'm thinking Scottie Pippen, and she said it and it was right. So both her and Kat got those 3 questions, or those 3 basketball players, correct. I feel like River has been giving catfish vibes the entire time, but no one seems to care. that's kind of what I'm thinking too, that they just like River. And so it's like, usually the people go and try to figure out who the catfishes are so they have a reason to vote somebody out. But if they like River and they don't want to vote him out, I don't think they're going to use the catfish against him. And so unless they wanted to turn on him and be like, we think he's a catfish, you know?
Yeah, and at this point, like, they're near the end of the game, right? So they're basically going to want to, whether they're catfish or not, like, it's about alliances now, so they're going to want to stick together, you know?
Exactly. It doesn't matter anymore. Latasha says, I guess it's fine though. Just weird. If it were the UK version, River would have been out. Yes and no. Latasha, have you seen season 3 of the UK version? Pardon?
Or 1 even.
Well, season 3 though, there's definitely a catfish on there that people are like, I don't even care if they're a catfish. I love this person so much. So I think that once you get to a certain point, if you are a really likable character, people are not going to care whether or not you are a catfish or not. They just like you. So I think that that's where River is. That he's just likable. They like him. Poor Chloe though. So she had I don't know what kind of question it was, but it's directional, where she is quite simple, where it's like, okay, walk this way, walk west. And what direction are you facing? And she's like, I don't know my north, south, east, and west. I don't know when there was a time I didn't know that.
Like, that is pretty, that's grade 2 material right there. Like, that's not hard to figure out. So I'm shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it wasn't difficult. If you close your eyes and like point directions, you could figure it out. It's not hard.
I know, but like she just doesn't know, I guess, the NESW. But never eat shredded wheat. Maybe they don't say that in the UK. I wonder what their acronym is.
But even still, like, you would think you would know direction somehow. You know, you still take Ubers, you still take subways and buses, and.
But she was saying that she just uses like GPS, and they don't actually say go north anymore. They say like turn right on, and then go towards the street name. So
I also have to remember that she's like 20, 21, so that makes sense. There's a generation gap for sure.
Like, I remember back in the day, if I had to get directions to go somewhere I didn't know where it was, going to MapQuest and printing out the directions on a piece of paper. Like,
yes. And even still getting lost because you're driving faster than you can read the directions. I remember that too.
So yes, I mean, I don't usually rely on GPS. I'm usually like, well, just tell me how to get there. Like, I'd rather be told how to get there than be like, just listen and not pay attention to where I'm going. Because I don't like feeling lost without, like, I want to know where I am. So I'm always like, okay, just tell me where I'm going. And I'll, if I need to reference GPS, that's how I'll do it. So it's just really interesting that she doesn't even have the inclination to just use her own brain. Like, she just goes directly to GPS. New generation. So I guess it didn't really say who won, but John's team did win, and they're going to be getting a party. But before that, Chloe messages Trevor and kind of talks about how she's ready to open up. And what did it say? Don't fall in love, I feel bad. Oh, Trevor says, don't fall in love, I feel bad. So how do you feel about catfishes posing as the opposite sex and then getting into these relationships where the other person kind of falls for them?
We've seen it once, we've seen it twice, we've seen it 5 times. It happens on pretty much every season, I feel like. You know what I mean? With James and with Felix, and now with Chloe. So it happens like every time. But I don't know. I feel like I get the liking somebody, but falling in love with somebody you haven't even seen yet, I don't know. It seems a bit ridiculous, but I guess it's a different thing. Like, there's nothing else to prioritize or think about while you're in there, so you just focus on those people, right?
Oh my god, it happened.
Absolutely. And if they're like flirting or whatnot, you're just kind of like, oh, like this cute person, like they like me, and there's not that much to focus on or think about. So I get it. But poor Chloe, she's just quite naive and trusting. And so Trevor is playing it well enough to get her little, ensnared in his love and his kind energy. So
And
Courtney
it always ends up being a catfish too.
Say that again.
I said it always ends up being a catfish that they fall in love with every time.
Well, and see, I think what usually the reasoning behind it is that these women are saying all the things that other women wish men would say and how they would interact with them. And so they're just like, oh, they're being so sensitive. Oh, they're concerned about my feeling. Like, all the things that you're just like, oh, I wish you'd just listen to me more, communicate more. So they're doing all those things.
You're saying all the right things.
All the right things. So Courtney also starts a chat with River, and they both agree that they don't trust Kat. They don't like what Kat was saying about Chloe, so they decide to bring Chloe into the chat just to let Chloe know what was going on. Even though Kat was fangirling over Chloe in the beginning, that seems to be over. She's not really allowing Chloe to get there. Yeah, she's definitely she picked the wrong person to not be trusted anymore. That poor Kat, because Courtney and River are definitely in this long with Chloe. Like, why would you think that they would immediately just turn their back on her just because you got an inkling that she's lying? It's like there might be more going on, guys. Or Kat.
Well,
so the cool kids party. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, in her defense, being the new person and knowing that there's already these people that are already connected, I understand the point. Like, she's trying to drive a rift into these people somehow. So I get that, but the way she did it was not the right way to do it. But I feel like there was sneakier ways to get around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she needed to not out her feelings so quickly with people that she knew may have more of a connection with Chloe than she does. And Chloe was her number one. Chloe really, she really likes Kat, and Kat really likes her. So it's kind of like she doesn't look great by turning so quickly on her friend in the circle. Kat was doing so well until that chat with those two. I was so disappointed. Me too, Latasha. I was so team Kat until she just went so hard for Chloe when it wasn't warranted, and it wasn't the right move. Like, she should have kept that information to herself. I
would have kept that quiet and brought it up when needed. You know what I mean? So
maybe talk to Mitchell about it. Maybe. Yeah. That's it. That's the only person I would talk to about it. Not anybody that was in the circle before I was there. So there's a cool kids party. They get a funnel hat, mini pool tables. I thought it was really cool, though, the Circle USA sweatshirt that goes kind of like in the style of like a fraternity or sorority. I thought that was really cute. They're playing Genuine's Pony, which was kind of fun. They're all dancing. So the people that were in that were John's winning team. So John, Trevor, River, and Courtney. And they always have to cut to seeing, Chloe and Kat and Mitchell just doing nothing while you're hearing, yo, honey, let's do it. And they're just seemingly having a lot of fun.
To that the whole time. I was totally joining in on the dancing with them, for sure. That's totally my dance song. I love that.
I mean, it's a good song, and they did revitalize it with Magic Mike. And so I've seen a few sexy Mike shows where they do dance to the song. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, we
do. So good, so good. So, yeah, they didn't get to go to the party. It was a little bit of a sad, but could they actually hear the music? Because how they made it seem like with the editing was when you're in, for instance, Chloe's room, you could hear really faintly Genuine's Pony in the background. So do you think that they could hear, or do you think that they just played it?
I don't think they could hear it all. I think they just made it sound like that. But in reality, they're actually in separate sections of the apartment building. So they're nowhere near each other, so there's no way they would have heard the music.
I mean, I wish that they could actually hear it, though. That'd be funny.
I know, because then they would have been fucking assholes.
Right? So at that point, that's when Courtney decides to test John. We kind of talked about that already. And then Kat decides that she wants to talk to Chloe, which is who she probably should have talked to first, as opposed to talking to River and Courtney first. But she went to talk to Chloe. But Chloe has already been told by River and Courtney about Kat. And so they got to her first. And so anything that Kat says now is going to look disingenuous. And it was too little too late. Courtney was like, Chloe was buying into it and pretending like, oh, it's okay, babe. Like, I get it, da, da, da. But she was not believing 1 second of it. She's like, don't call me baby love. Exactly.
I don't blame her one bit. Yep.
Exactly. Like, Chloe was pretty pissed. And what Kat was saying, it was like, oh, I threw the bait over at Courtney and River just to see what they would say. And Courtney and Chloe's like, I don't believe you. I don't trust you. She's not standing for the bullshit. So Chloe, even though she's naive, she's very good at like sticking to her guns when she makes a decision or when she's told something where she's like, okay, I trust them. I believe that, and sticks to it. So I like that about her. So that was the end of the episode. Episode 10 is called Campaigning to Win. And so basically we hear the campaign presidential music, waking them up super early with a delivery at their door. It's a podium with some flags. And they're going to be voting on their player that they wish to have a gift bestowed upon them. And so there was a tie between River and Courtney. John broke the tie. I don't even remember what happened there. What was the special gift?
I remember a giant bouquet of flowers, and I don't remember if there was anything else, to be honest.
I didn't write it down, so it must not have been important. Kat, after that, does a private chat with Mitchell. Mitchell thinks that Courtney was the Joker, which is a really good assessment. I have been impressed with Mitchell's assessment of that situation, and even some of the catfish. He does a pretty good job with like having his finger on the pulse with what's going on in the circle. Pretty impressed.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I thought he did a really good job with that, and like how he kind of pieced everything together with Courtney being the Joker. I was actually happy that someone figured it out. You know what I mean? So.
And that's going to play in a little bit later in one of the other episodes. That's really fun how it kind of, I really like that part of the episode, I guess, 11. It was good tea for sure. Next private chat we see is Trevor and Courtney. Courtney tells Trevor about Chloe and about what Kat had said and that he was protecting Chloe and all that stuff. And so Trevor, though, surprised me here because she is so standing Kat that she's like kind of protecting Kat a little bit. And so I was worried that by not wanting to defend Chloe here, that Courtney might take that information back and be like, and say to Courtney, hey, be careful of Trevor because like he didn't really stand up for you in this situation. So I was kind of getting worried for Trevor there that like his reaction wasn't super strong, you know?
I feel like that might be something that would potentially come up later, because it seems to me as though Courtney will like target one specific person at a time and gather up as much as he can on one person, and then when that person leaves, then he moves on and builds up another person. So I don't think he wants to kind of spread everything to more than one person. So I think he just targets one particular person. So as much ammo as he could get on Kat, the better, right? So.
Mm-hmm. So another chat between John and Mitchell, and there's an opportunity to exercise some of their psychic abilities because Lance knew that he was learning how to play the guitar in the circle. So, you know, John mentioned something about like learning something, a new gift or new something while they're in the circle. Mitchell isn't buying it though fully, but he likes him. So it doesn't matter that he's like, I don't know, I don't trust this John guy. I don't know if I believe that he's a psychic, but he's like, but I like the guy, so I don't care. So likability goes a lot further than lying and like being a catfish.
Yeah. 100%.
The campaign music comes back again. They're going to have to design a campaign poster and slogan for another player anonymously. And you know when anonymous games happen, that mess is about to happen. Exactly. Some nets are going to be slit. Some names are going to be called. And so River paints a picture of John, and it was quite a nice picture. It has a rainbow heart on it. I believe that one also had a Santa Claus on it. It was a nice picture.
Yeah.
Chloe does one of Trevor. Say it again?
I said, yeah, I agree. I thought it was really sweet. It was good.
That's a nice picture. Chloe does one of Trevor, calling him the teddy bear Trevs. So it was like nice. I mean, it wasn't good, but it was nice. Mitchell does one of Cat. And what does it say? No one believed the description. So it was saying things like trustworthy, honest, just like all these descriptive words about Cat. And nobody other than Cat and Mitchell were thinking that these words really represented Cat and were true. So I was like, ooh, not many people are liking Cat anymore. Cat does it of Courtney, talking about it was pretty funny. Courtney was like, yeah, it's funny, but it's a little bit too late. She says, like, you can count on me to snatch your wig. And so kind of putting some playful jokes in there that Courtney would like. But Courtney, when he doesn't like somebody, when he is put off, like you can't, tunnel vision, you can't change his mind. So he's put off, he got the ick, we'll say, with Cat. And so there's no turning back. Too little, too late. Ooh.
Nope.
And
no amount of sugar you throw in that bowl is gonna change his mind. So
nope. It's done. It's over. Courtney does a picture of Chloe. Hashtag Lady in Red. What did I write? No pie. No pie. No pic. No pic. Oh, there's no pictures. Just all words.
Just words.
So fine. I wish somebody had some better pictures. Like all the pictures were kind of like, yeah, okay. We see John does one of. Say again?
I said I was hoping for something shadier. Like I was waiting for shady.
Me too. John does one of Mitchell, and that was another super nice one with like the Santa and the nice list and cool. But the only shady one was surprisingly from Trevor, who does it of River, saying that he is curly and calculated. Ooh.
So I think that was not even shady enough. It was just like passive aggressive post-it notes. You know what I mean? It's just annoyingly shady, but not shady enough for me.
I mean, it was a little bit shady, but what I would have gathered, because there was a picture of River, if I'm not mistaken, like a drawing, and everybody else, nobody had decent drawings. So I would immediately have thought it was Trevor, who had won that mannequin challenge by having decent makeup application skills for that mannequin. So I'd be like, oh, the only person that actually seemed like they were decent at drawing was Trevor. So when I would see this picture, I would automatically think that it had to be Trevor, because everybody else's mannequin was dismal. I
agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. So Trevor and John are having a private chat now, and there was an opportunity for them to bond. He asked about his kids, and John thinks that Trevor is actually really, really nice, and a really nice man, really nice father. We got the dreaded alert, which is like, that sound is pretty bad. It kind of reminds me of that one of those alarm clock sounds on iPhone that I'm just like, oh, like I don't want to hear that. Like it's so bad. It's kind of reminds me of that.
I actually know exactly which one you're talking about too.
It's bad. It's like. I don't hear. Yeah, the worst. And so they're going to get the opportunity to exercise their democratic rights. They are going to be rating their fellow circle players. John, of course, cannot be rated because he's super new to the circle. So just some of the information that they gave us, that John ranks River number 1. River ranks Chloe number 1. Chloe has Who did I put there? I don't know who I put there as number one. Trevor ranks Mitchell as number one. Mitchell puts Kat as number one, of course, and Kat put Chloe as number two. So who were you thinking was going to be the influencers from what they showed you there and kind of what's been going on in the circle?
Well, I will say that I was quite surprised to see Kat put Chloe so high up there, especially after knowing that, she was just bad mouthing her the whole time. So I found that interesting, but I figured she probably thought that she had a better shot with Chloe than some of the other people at that point. So it made sense, I guess, in that way. But yeah, I didn't know. Like I think because there was a lot of like alternate first place back and forth, so I was like, this could go either way. Who knows?
I'm realizing what I wrote. I wrote down Chloe has butterflies, so she must have been. She voted Trevor as number one because she's just falling for that man. She is.
Hmm.
So before they reveal the results, we see Trevor messaging Kat. And Kat tells Trevor that she's been poking around, and Trevor's like, "Uh-oh, this is not good for you to be poking around." Trevor's kind of like worried, that Kat is really playing with fire, and she really, really is. Trevor's noticing that like she's playing a little bit too hard, too fast, and people are already talking to Trevor about Kat, and so at least Trevor's not going to be surprised if anything goes down with Kat because Kat's been poking around and people have been noticing that she's kind of not all in on Chloe right now. Eek. So another alert, and the ratings are in. So in sixth place, whoo, Kat. Yikes.
I am shocked and appalled by this. Just kidding.
I wasn't at all. I was like, I wonder why. Like, come on, ding dong. Number 6 is Mitchell. No real surprise there. Number 4 is Courtney. Number 3 is River. And between Chloe and Trevor, Chloe takes the number 1 influencer position again. And so I'm kind of worried that like she keeps on being put in the top position, that like people are going to recognize that and start maybe wanting to get her out or ranking her really poorly so she comes in last. But so far she's still been able to not be too much of a threat to people, which I think is quite an interesting trait that she has. It's pretty impressive, I would say.
Yeah, I think she uses her youth and her charm to do that. Like people just like her, you know what I mean? But I definitely agree with you. I think that since her being near the top or at the top multiple times now in a row, by the time the finale comes next week, they're probably gonna strategically put her lower because they know she'll win.
Exactly. We'll see what happens moving along, but she is number 1 this week. And in their influencer chat, they're not really seeming to budge. So it seems like the division is Chloe is protecting River and Courtney for the most part. John is not part of this conversation, and Trevor is protecting Mitchell and Kat for the most part. And so they both kind of don't want to give up any of their people because they know that they're going to most likely rank them decently high. So Chloe doesn't want to hold back about Mitchell. She thinks that Mitchell is fake and a snake. Where did that come from? Like, why did she think Mitchell was fake? I don't remember.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Or maybe I wrote that about somebody else. Maybe I wrote that about Kat.
Someone else, because I remember Chloe was saying that she thought she had like he was like her big brother.
That was later, but
telling her about.
I think that she was talking about Kat here actually, and I wrote like she was talking about Mitchell. I don't remember what she said about Mitchell, but I think it was Kat that she was saying is fake and a snake a little bit. Ooh, Dolores. Hi, Dolores. Hi, guys. Oh, my God. I've been trying to get into 20-odd minutes, crossing fingers. What do you mean? What is YouTube down? What's happening? Thanks for joining us, though.
You can see those messages as they come in, right?
I mean, I see them decently as they come in. Yeah, I got it at 7:02, and it's 7:02 now, but I don't know when they actually typed it. Je sais pas. So Chloe really likes, though, that Trevor is going to take the reins here and share with the group who is going to be blocked. And she's just like, oh my God, he's an actual man taking control of the blocking. And she was just feeling it. So I still like Chloe, how she's like falling for this catfish man.
I think it's adorable. I think it's hilarious.
Internet. I hate that. I'm on vacation. I think it was the area. Oh, I gotcha. You're on vacation? I haven't left my house in a year.
What's vacation?
I know. I miss going away. Like, I was a flight attendant before lockdown. I was in Costa Rica the day before everything shut down. Like, I was just never home, and now I've been home all the time. So the alert comes. Jack is going to get some popcorn, and who are they going to block? So who were you thinking that they were going to block at this point?
I was torn. I was thinking that I knew it was either going to be Kat, or I was thinking possibly Courtney, because there was a moment where there was a bit of doubt with Chloe. So with Courtney and River. Or was that later? Maybe I'm mixing up episodes. I don't remember. But I thought it would have been either Courtney or Kat, with Kat being the most likely person to go. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought that, with the fact that Trevor is supposed to be Chloe's partner, like boyfriend in the circle, that if there's somebody that Courtney or that Chloe's most likely not feeling comfortable with, that is like going around saying that she's a liar and stuff, I would think it would be in Trevor's best interest to get rid of that person, because he wouldn't want Chloe to be like, oh, say again?
Yeah, I agree. Like, it would be in Trevor's best interest because it's protecting his girl, right, from the drama.
Exactly. And if he didn't do that, she would be like, oh, well, he would rather Kat be in here than me. And he would completely lose Chloe. So, I think that Chloe will take the trail better than Manrika. Yes, she will be super fine with it. She'll find it funny. Especially because she's had a few inklings that like, I think it's a woman. I don't think it's actually a man. He's too sensitive and nice. Like, her intuition's already going off that she doesn't trust it fully. So I don't think that she'll be that upset. And like, Delisa's such a lovely woman that like, I don't think that she would be able to be that mad at her. I don't think so.
Especially after the first 5 minutes, she would have been like, "Oh, I love you,"
Exactly. They'll still be fast friends, I think. And she still knows who she is from Too Hot to Handle, So like, it'll be fine. So episode 11 comes. Master Plan, it is called, and Trevor does it. Trevor Blocks Cat. And so she has the opportunity to go and see somebody from the circle. So who did you think that Kat was going to go and see?
I thought Kat was going to go see Mitchell.
Yep, I thought Mitchell.
Because her and Mitchell were pretty tight throughout the whole game. So they came in together. They were close. So I thought Mitchell for sure.
I thought it was going to be Chloe, just because just to be to see if she's a catfish or not, or whether or not she was lying about that whole thing, because that whole thinking that Chloe lied is what got her out of the circle. So I thought that she was going to go see Chloe, but she did not see out of those people. She went to see Trevor. And I really liked their meeting. She was really nice to Trevor. Even though it was a catfish, she was like, that's your baby, and that's you're the baby mama, and yeah, that's my husband. And so she immediately kind of sussed out the whole situation when it was Lisa, because I guess because she had so many stories and it's so believable that she had to be the mother of that baby.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I loved it. I love their meeting. But Kat's talking about two messy queens, two-headed snake, implying that River and Trevor are two-headed snakes. And this is back in the circle. So when she's revealed, she has all this tea that she's spilling to the circle chat. And Trevor feels the need to fess up and say that Cat came and saw him. So what do you think about the aftermath of Cat's revealing message about the two-headed snake and the messy queens, which everybody does know is Courtney and River?
Well, they know now because River basically admitted to it. So, but yeah, I thought it was good. I thought that, it would have been like Trevor at this point in the game to be honest and upfront about it. I thought it was a good thing for him to do, honestly.
Yeah, especially since like we had Kat going on the rampage trying to out Chloe for lying about it. It was in her best interest to be like, he came and saw me, and at least be transparent there. And then Chloe, the naive girl that she is, she decides to ask the circle, who is the double-headed snake? And you're just like, poor Delisa or Trevor, just like, always don't ask these questions out loud, like to people. Like, this isn't good.
She's so ridiculous. I fucking love her.
I definitely do. Ooh, hold on. This is a good question. I wonder if production allowed them to pick their visit. So I think that they choose somebody, but then if production wants somebody that tells a more interesting story, they might say, like, actually, you're going to go see so-and-so. I heard that they did that with Gemma. So Gemma, I forget I think they were going to go see Andy originally, maybe. And then they said, actually, no, you're going to go see Manrika. And they made them go at 3 a.m. So I do think that if it's not in alignment with what they want to tell story-wise, they might say something. Mm-hmm. My girl Chloe didn't seem to catch that line. Did she? No.
No.
No. River also, though, kind of doubles down with Chloe here and asks who people thought it was as well. I like that River / Lee kind of doesn't take himself that seriously, especially because he is a catfish. He's kind of like leaning into it a little bit. So I think he's actually doing a good job. He's getting better at being this catfish, I think. Mitchell automatically thinks it's Courtney and River that are the two-headed snakes. So he's right on the money. And it's kind of like those whodunits or like those cartoon mysteries where it's like people get onto the scent and then they get nabbed and like they get killed in like Scooby-Doo. You know what I mean? Like right before they get the get to the answer, like, oh, they're gonna be taken out. So I feel like that's what's happening with Mitchell here. He's just like maybe 1 second too close to the right answer, and so he's gonna get cut. So that's what I think that Mitchell needs to be quieter about, or I don't know. He needs to do something to get these people out as opposed to letting them know that you are a threat to their game so they will want to get you out.
Yep.
I have to admit I'm really liking River. I'm really liking River as well. I didn't love him in the beginning, but definitely now he is so much better. So
he's grown on me too. Like it seemed like he's become a player now, not just like you know what I mean? Like he's being more strategic now, which I appreciate. So
me too. I think that's what we all probably like. A, we're getting to know him better, and B, he's playing to win, which we always want to see. We don't want to see people just like hanging around. We want to see you trying to get the W. So Chloe wants the psychic reading from John, and so they're using a Moonology deck, which I think is a great way to be able to come across as a psychic, because there are people that use their intuition solely, absolutely, but having a deck of cards and having things like the guidebook, it'll make you be able to give a decent reading. And so I was happy that they gave that to him, because they already really screwed over Jack and Emily with that mannequin challenge. So, like, at least it didn't completely screw them over with, like, making them be a psychic when neither of them are psychic. So I'm happy that they got those cards. So her reading was talking a little bit about... Sorry, go ahead.
I said agreed. Is it hard to hear me?
Yeah, it is. Before, like, last week I had headphones in, so, like, I would hear you more clearly, but I decided to, like, do this way. So, like, if it was quiet, then I'd just get you to repeat yourself. I'm wondering if it's because of the AirPods. Like you're not picking up the mic that well from the computer. I'm not sure if that's what it is. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll try to speak up though.
Yeah, thank you. It's not as quiet as when I heard it after last week, but I'm not sure how it's going to record. So hopefully it'll still be pretty decent. But yeah, no matter what though, if we talk over each other, I usually can't hear you anyways. So like anybody.
Fair.
So in the reading, she gets like the full moon in Capricorn. It's talking about actions always speak louder than words, and that also that she feels that this is another brain teaser. Poor Chloe. She gets her psychic reading and she feels like she has to solve like some sort of riddle. Oh, sweet thing. she's just so naive and
questioning everything.
yes, but I thought they did a good job with the reading personally. We next get another private chat with Courtney and River. And basically, Courtney's like, I don't even care. Cat's gone. Man, she's not, her bed's not even cold yet. And they're already like, yeah, bye. And we're next. So he's pretty ruthless in that way. As soon as he's turned off, it's like, snippy snip, done. You can't fix it. It's over.
Savage. Yeah.
So savage. Courtney says that he loves John, which we all kind of do, surprisingly. Like, we all really love John. But they both agree that the Kardashians with a C is their number one priority. And so they want to keep an eye on Mitchell, who hasn't really talked to either of them that much. And so I think that this is where Mitchell has gone wrong, is that he's been talking to people that he likes when he should be talking to people that he doesn't like. Because if you're not talking to me, you're talking to somebody else about me. And we know that it's like number one strategy lesson is like, talk to everybody, because people will automatically think that you are against them if you're not talking to them. And so this is where he went wrong. He did not keep him close in his own inner circle.
Yep. He definitely, like, that's the thing, is like, I feel like you need to evenly distribute yourself socially so that you have a chance with everybody for that exact reason.
Exactly. Dolores is giving you props, but she's calling you Phil. Dolores says, I hear you a little lower, but I can understand you. Matt, it's Matt, Dolores. It's Matt. I know. I usually
called worse things.
This is my Phil time slot. So we did the Amazing Race at this time for a while. So, okay, we have another private chat. There was a lot of private chats today. It seemed like a lot of like cut to. But we got one with Trevor and Mitchell. And Trevor is giving Mitchell a little bit of a heads up. And this is where my favorite part of the episode happened, where Trevor has decided that he wants to put a plan into action to pretty much keep Mitchell hopefully in the game and maybe to get out one of the two-headed snakes. So they talk about Mitchell knowing that Courtney's a joker, and Trevor wants to make a final three, the trifecta, with Chloe, Trevor, and Mitchell. So the trifecta is going to get Courtney or River out. So I was like, woo, this is getting spicy. So there's 4 steps to this plan. So the first one is act cool with Courtney and River. So which is just what I was saying before, is like, be friends with your enemy. Keep your enemies closer, you know? Step 2 is to get Chloe to trust Mitchell by sharing something personal and vulnerable. Very smart. Step 3, form the trifecta with Chloe. #trifecta. And step 4 is get one of them blocked. So what do you think about this plan?
I thought it was great. I actually love seeing her like come up with this plan. I thought, like, I wasn't expecting her, like, honestly, to be that big of a player, but I loved it. I thought it was perfect. I'm like, that is exactly what you need to do. Perfect.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
whether it's too little or too late, we don't know, but I mean, it's a good plan.
Definitely a good plan. I wasn't sure, like, I don't think I wanted River to go. I was like, I can maybe let Courtney go. But like, I was like, ooh, man, though, that could be bad if River gets like cut because of this plan. Ooh, so good.
I knew that for sure it would have been I thought for sure it would have been Courtney to go first anyway. Let's be real.
Agreed. But I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh, do I want to lose Courtney? I'm like, I'd rather lose Courtney over River, so I guess so. So Laura says, sorry, Matt. I wonder how many private chats there are.
Girl.
I heard that they have only a few that they're allowed to schedule. So I guess maybe in the morning they'd be like, okay, I want to talk to so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so. Because they have to kind of arrange maybe to have extra camera work or maybe to have the feeds filming when they, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but they only get a certain amount. We learned that definitely happens in the Circle UK because Vithan was saying that he felt at times he wasted some chats when people got blocked because he could have been making connections with other people. So they definitely have a limited amount. I'm not sure how many though.
And I've noticed as well, like in the group chats, a lot of the times, like it's like they haven't even really finished the conversation, but then they're done. Like they just end it. So I wonder if they only get like so many responses that they're allowed each time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they're always like, oh, and circle chat, leave circle chat. I'm like, oh my God, it was so abrupt. We're not done yet. But I guess
literally only halfway through the conversation. They could have added so much more to it, but why? So they must have a limit.
Yeah, it must be a time limit and like amount of conversations a day limit. Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm sure it's becoming so popular that maybe there'll be some like what you didn't know about the Circle like is going to have to come out soon. I would hope we get some more information there soon. So we get the Circle Awards. What do you think about the Circle Awards? They get all glammed up. They get the red carpet and some stanchions. What do you think about them dressed up?
I thought it was cute. I loved it, and they were mostly all of them were in their tuxes, even the ladies.
And that's what I was thinking. It's like yeah. I thought that Lisa and Delisa would at least get a dress because they might prefer that in their regular life, but no, because they're playing men, they gave them the tuxedos, and so I would have liked to see them dressed up in a gown, though. I thought, but it was cute, I guess, seeing them in a tux. It's cute.
It was cute, and my second favorite part of this season so far was the scene where it's showing Lisa and Jack standing beside each other on the red carpet, and they cut off Jack's head because he's so freaking tall.
How tall is he?
So
he's like 6'6". Like he's
6'3", 4", something like that. 6'5".
That's not that tall. I mean, it's tall, but like, how short is she?
She's
like
short.
5 feet? 4'10".
Like 5'2",
so tiny.
Yeah.
So tiny. So I was wishing that they would add a feature as to status to let's say, for example, River wanted to talk to Chloe and it showed her status. She was busy. So it means that she was talking to somebody. Ooh, well, but then it wouldn't get that dramatic moment when she was talking to Mitchell and Trevor calls and she's like, okay, bye. And like just ends the call. So,
you know what I miss? Because I don't know why they don't do it every season, but I believe it was in the UK season. They would have daily newsfeed updates, and it would be like a status. They would post a status, and sometimes it was shady, sometimes it was fun. Like they don't do statuses on this season, or like in the US version.
I don't remember the statuses right now. I'd have to go back and check them out. I don't remember that, but I wonder why if that's the case. I don't know.
Maybe they wanted to make it a little bit different than the UK version, maybe. I don't know.
Me neither. So what happened? Oh yeah, that was definitely I wrote down, haha, the camera cutting off Jack's head.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So the awards were that they had to vote for live is the sexiest player. So that was Chloe. The comedy awards go to Courtney. Best performance, Mitchell. The Lifetime Achievement Award for kissing ass is a tie between Mitchell and River. Mitchell's pissed. I thought it would be Courtney, but I was surprised. I actually was surprised that it was Mitchell and River. What do you think about these results, these awards?
I think that I think that it was strategic of them to just say Mitchell because he was the one person where they didn't care if they upset him because they're not aligned with him to begin with. So I thought that that's probably why Mitchell was there. So he was pissed for that reason. But I'm not surprised about the other ones at all.
I mean, no, I'm not surprised about the other ones. Maybe best performance, because like I would think that they would probably try to do the catfish, because I think they all know that Mitchell's a real person. I don't think that they are skeptical of the game that he's playing.
I just
Okay,
don't
so
think that they
Dolores,
were in a position where they wanted to make other people that they're working with or close to feel attacked. So they just went with Mitchell because they didn't feel as close with him.
that's true. And it's like, you're like, oh, let's give him all the bad ones. So we don't make anybody else feel badly.
Yeah.
So Dolores was double downing, I think, on your comment. So I was wishing that they would add a feature as to the status to say, for example, River wanted to talk to Chloe, and it showed her status that she was busy, and it would mean that she was talking to somebody. Okay, that's what she said before. And then she said, so for example, Phil wanted to talk to Chantele, but saw that her status was that she was in a chat. He could try guessing as to who she was talking to, or look to see who else was busy. Yeah, that would be interesting. I know that like in some orgs that are played on Facebook, that people were like, oh, we know you were online. Like, why didn't you respond to my message, in a timely fashion? So it definitely could stir up some drama with having people know.
Paranoia.
There must be a reason why they don't have it. I'll look into it to see if we can find out the reasoning behind it, meaning that Chantele is really talking to Matt. Yes, I totally get it. Would be great to have it come back. Again. Drama, will you live for the drama? Mitchell,
That could be
best
a new inclusion because they've never done that before.
Ever?
No, never. Like if somebody else is talking, it doesn't show that they're talking to somebody else.
Yeah, like you'd be like, oh, who are they talking to? That'd be interesting. I don't remember that, but I'm gonna go back and take a peek and see, and just to jog my memory here. But the C's took over the Kardashians. Yeah, I think that the Kardashians are a little bit better performers, we'll say, but they just wanted to ping Mitchell with the bad ones. Sorry, Mitchell. So the after party, we see Jake being really tall next to Lisa. That's the only thing that I wrote down about the after party, but they all seem to be having a decently good time. How do you think you would be in the circle? Like, would you be dancing around having as much fun as these people seem to be doing by themselves?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, especially if they threw on some pony, I'd be like, yes.
I mean, you just be like, you're going to be a TV show. You'd be like, whoa! It'd be really fun to be on that.
I would have such a blast in there. It would be a lot of fun.
I love all the dressing up and stuff like that, and so I think I want to. I'm gonna apply. I want to be on it.
I wish we could apply, but we're Canadian, so we can't.
Well, I think like I still got like an email for the application because I applied last season, and then they gave me like an application for like another show. But then they sent me recently another application for like the next season of The Circle. I don't know if it's just because I've applied before. I just pretend I said where I'm from, and I'd just be like, I would fly out of an American city if that's the case, and like I can have an American address if I needed one. So. Like my dad lives in the States.
Is it you that you have dual citizenship? Is that right? Or no?
No, but my dad does live in the States. So if I need to live somewhere or have an address somewhere or fly out from somewhere, I have somewhere I can be from. So if they let you, because the reason why is usually paying taxes for the prize money. So that's why they don't let people.
With the popularity that this show has been gaining over the last couple of years, I 110% think that Canada will have its own within the next couple of years. Guaranteed. They have.
How much would the prize money be?
A huge moneymaker.
How much would the
prize be? 100K. 100K. Tax free though. Tax free. We don't pay taxes on winnings.
I know we don't. We're so much luckier here for that reason. But also we're having Netflix Canada like build some studios here in Toronto. So if that's the case, maybe then some of the programming could be the Circle, right? They would bring some of the Circle programming to Canada. So that's something that they can easily replicate and do Canadian without having to change too much, or you know what I mean? Like it's not like Survivor, where Canada doesn't have as much money as Survivor does to fly people to Fiji to film a show, but they could, I think, afford to do the Circle. So I'd apply.
100%. And you know what? They don't even need to use the same building. They could make it their own. And there's a ton of buildings that look very similar to that down in, like, even on King Street. They could easily take an old building down in the Distillery District or down, in Liberty Village and make it their own.
Well, I think that they've been flying these people to the UK and using their actual set. Didn't I hear that?
Yeah. Yes, that's true. They do.
Did I just see Chantele twerk on the? I mean, I was a professional dancer, but that was all ballet. I'm not a good twerker. I remember I was a go-go dancer when I was living in Vancouver, and right when twerking was like at its like peak, when it first like came out and people wanted everybody to twerk, and guys would just always be like twerk, twerk. It used to piss me off. I was so angry. I'm like, I'm a dancer. I'm not twerking. And now I'm like, yeah. It's good. I heard they film in the UK. Okay, you heard that as well. Me too.
Yes.
So
that's going to be the only problem.
Yes.
That would be the only problem, Chantele, is because all of the seasons, like France, Brazil, the US, UK, they're all filmed in the same building. So they have to coordinate their times to film, right? So that would be the only thing. Like, if everyone does their own circle, they're not going to have enough time to have each country have their time in the space, right? So
well, it's only 3 or 4 weeks. It's not too bad. They can get like, I don't know, at least 10 different seasons in a year.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, I guess if it grows, they could. They totally could make it work.
Please make it work. I would love to know some people on the Circle, including myself. So Trevor checks in with River about like the whole Kiss Ass award that he received. We then also see Mitchell chatting with Chloe, and he's enacting that plan. He wants to actually get to know Chloe, and Chloe's already, by him saying that, is like, oh wow, like that's so nice. Like she's already buying into Mitchell from part 2 of the plan. So good plan for sure. He talks about being judged by his looks, and Chloe, shares some parts of her that she used to be bullied when she was younger. And he tells her, fun fact, he is a virgin. And so she's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense now that he friend zoned me. Oh my gosh. And so he definitely, I think, did a good job with bringing Chloe in. What do you think about this enactment of step 2?
100%. I think it was actually, I don't know why he waited so long to do that. He should have done that from the get-go, to be honest. But yeah, I thought it was perfect. I think he did a really good job. And she was constantly like, oh, like that was really sweet of him to tell me. And like, they kind of opened up with each other. I mean, that would have been a day 3 or day 4 conversation, not a last minute conversation for me.
Absolutely. Good. And not with like somebody telling me to do that. Like I would have already thought to, let's bring them in. You know what I mean? So that's, I guess he's good at sussing out the catfishes, but he's not, or like the people that are, doing things that are against what they're actually saying. But he's not really good at making connections and alliances with these people that he's kind of wary of. So wait, Google states it's filmed in a building named Adelphi Wharf 1 in Salford in the UK. Okay. Oh, Google states. Okay, yeah. Google says filmed in a building. Okay. Yeah, I've definitely heard that it's all been filmed in the UK, but I didn't know it was there. So it is the Circle Hotel. I mean, after the series is done for good, people will probably be able to stay there as like a hotel or like which would be kind of cool. And I'd be like, Circle, open chat. circle message that message. Like it'd be so fun.
They that building though is actually a residential building. Like people actually live there even during filming.
Oh, well, I didn't know
Yep.
that. Very cool. So, what am I saying here? What am I saying here? So yes, now they have a really good relationship, and it was really worth it for him to like open up and share this with them, because now she asked him why is he still a virgin, and he does say that he has a good relationship with God, and that he doesn't want to give something so special away to just anybody, a regular old person. He wants to give it to somebody special. So I thought it was a really great way to connect with Chloe. And she now thinks that Trevor's her circle boyfriend and Mitchell's her circle brother. So this is good. Definitely good for them. And that's pretty much the end of episode 11. The last blocking is the name of the final episode this week. And we see Mitchell inviting Courtney and River into a chat to play on their heartstrings. And Courtney and River, they're already on to you, Mitchell. You're too late with all these good ideas, because they're just like, yeah, I think that he's just doing this now to like, it's going to be the final blocking soon. He's probably just trying to make nice. It's too late. It's too late.
Yep.
And so River is so nice. And he's like, yeah, well, you should have said all this earlier. It's too late.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Poor Mitchell. The messy queens, though, are Trevor's enemies. So Trevor really is doubling down hard, wants one of Courtney or River out. Mitchell reports back saying that step 1 and 2 are done, and then they invite Chloe into their chat. And so this was a very dramatic moment, and I want to know what you thought about it, where they tell Chloe that Courtney was speaking badly about her when he was the Joker, and it was him that was the Joker. And all of a sudden, like, Chloe's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I can't believe it. Oh my God. Us till the end. Like, all of a sudden, like, they're in a threesome alliance, and it's us till the end. So what do you think about that whole moment?
I thought it was, strategically, I think it made sense for Trevor to say all this now, because there's the final blocking, right? So they know, I guess Trevor would know that Mitchell's already at the bottom of the barrel. So there's some risk with saying it, but there would be more of a risk for Mitchell than it would be for Trevor. So I think at this point, Trevor knows that he needs Chloe in order to get higher ratings for the end, because if Chloe is still with River and Courtney, Trevor has no shot, because it's 3 against 1. Because if Mitchell goes this round, then he's basically by himself, So I think it was a good play. Whether or not it should have been done sooner is the question.
It should have been done sooner. It was definitely too late for Mitchell to be able to kind of infiltrate these people. Like, he should have been, at least 2 episodes ago, started making some headway with these two. Obviously he didn't know what information was going to be coming out and like what he was going to figure out, but he should have realized that it's a popularity contest. You need to be liked by everybody, whether you like them or not. And so it should have been something that he was working on. So it was like, it should have been like he already like volleyed it up, and now he just like has to lob it over. You know what I mean? Like he was just one step behind in this plan. So timing wise. So us till the end. This is I think seemingly not going to be good for one of Courtney or River, but who knows how things are going to shake out. So they also have the opportunity to tell everybody why they deserve the money. So John, he kind of jokes about he wants to go on a vacation to the North Pole. Ha ha ha. Really, he wants to take his family and his kids to on a tropical vacation. We have River, who Lee wants to buy a pool. So like they don't say that. Like Lance would probably say that. But instead he says he wants to take care of student loans and maybe buy a car. We have Chloe wants to take care of family debt, buy her brother a car, down payment on a house, and help her father with the addiction recovery charity that he started. Trevor, down payment on a house, and she says that she wants to have to start a home for her daughter. Like she wants her daughter to experience a home instead of an apartment. She wants like a house for her daughter. Yep. Mitchell, sorry.
I'm just yes.
No just saying. And Mitchell wants to donate to a charity that invest in a charity that he started. Also invest in real estate. Retire his parents. And Courtney wants to celebrate his stepdad's life because his real father, his birth father, didn't really stay in his life, but his stepdad was really in it, but he's in stage 3 kidney disease. And so I thought that they all had decent reasons for why they wanted the money. Did any of them stand out to you that you connected with?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they all did a really good job. Like whether or not you're even being honest, like the fact that they were all something kind of valuable, I think was a benefit. Because if somebody had said something stupid, like I'm going to go and spend $100,000 on jujubes or something, you know what I mean? Like that would be ridiculous. So I thought they did a really good job. And I thought they were all pretty meaningful. So, I mean, the one that stood out for me, I did like the Chloe one that kind of came out of left field. Like there was a similar kind of story arc with Manrika with that whole thing, but it lasted from start to finish. But this one just came out of the left field with Chloe and her dad. So I thought that one stood out for me a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know any of that about Chloe. The one that stood out for me was definitely Trevor, because he was like hashtag raising queens, hashtag family over everything. And Delisa was getting really emotional because, she really is doing it for her family. She really is doing it for her daughter. And so I was tearing up a little bit with Delisa. So she kind of got my heart there. But I thought they were all decent. And I thought it was really good for them to share this because it was going to make it a lot harder now for Trevor / Delisa to want to focus on Courtney. She's kind of like, oh, like, he's such a good person. Like, I don't want him to go. Like, it gave them more empathy towards people that they're going to be blocking. So I thought that was really good for the circle at this time. So it is going to be the final blocking. And they told us a few first places. So Mitchell ranked Trevor first place. Trevor ranked Chloe number 1. River, John number 1. John, River number 1. Courtney, and Courtney does John number 1 as well. So before we get revealed to who's going to be blocked, everyone receives a message from home. And I loved all these messages too. I'm not really that much of a sap. And the one that stood out the most to me was Delisa. She was obviously being very emotional. Trevor seems like so lovely. And that baby is so cute. And she's like, I was like, so sweet. My gosh, if I was the mom in there, that was my baby, and I was seeing her, I would be crying. Did you like any of the other families? What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I loved definitely the one from Trevor was definitely the standout, the showstopper for me for that one. But it was really sweet. I feel like, the rest of them were kind of okay.
I liked River's partner and his mom were or like Lee's partner and his mom, and so they're just saying all these nice things like, oh, you are a star, like you are a winner already, like come, like it doesn't matter if you lose, but come up with some more money. Like they said something cute like that, and like about like how they love him no matter what. And so Lee starts crying, and his partner knows him so well. He's like, "You're probably crying right now," and I was just like, "Aw, he knows him so well." He's just like,
Yeah. That part, I was like, he was always crying though.
And they love, I guess, Big Ed and his mom because they had them and his grandma to say something to Mitchell. So I think they wanted to have them have a little cameo for any Circle fans of season 1. We had Jack's mom, and then Lisa's whole family. And Courtney's mom, and she felt something because she heard Super Bass on the radio, and I guess that's a song that they're both connected to. And so she was really touched, both of them. And Chloe's family was lovely as well. Like you could see, they're just proud of Chloe and they want her to home and they're doing a job. They're proud of her. So lovely. Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was surprised that the brother didn't say anything though. He was just there. He didn't say a word.
Say that again. Who didn't say a word? Oh, the brother.
Chloe's brother didn't say a word. He was just there.
Well, maybe it was longer. They just kind of cut the little snippet to what would make most sense in the edit, maybe. But the last thing that Trevor said to Delisa was, "You are my hero." Oh my God, if anybody ever said that to me, I would be in tears. Even thinking about it makes me want to cry. Someone saying you're my hero. Yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was amazing. They sure are able to do a lot with the money. I know, right? It's they can change the world with $100,000 and they're going to get 30,000 tax deducted from it.
Tax is gone. Right.
I think a nice splurge. I would invest the rest for whenever I retire. Yeah, what would I do with it? I would definitely put a down payment on a home of some sort and a car. Those would be the two things, and then invest the rest. There's not really enough money to do anything big, but having those two things taken care of would be very useful to facilitate starting something else. So we get our alert, and it is revealing that the #1 spot will be the only super influencer who will be choosing who will block. They will block, and they didn't know this in the beginning, but they will also be doing their blocking face to face. So who did you think was going to be blocked here?
Oh man, I thought it was probably
the super influencer. Who do you think was going to be the super influencer?
I thought probably River or Chloe. River or Chloe were the top two that I was thinking.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to be more so Chloe or maybe Trevor. I wasn't sure if it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be River for whatever reason. But it was River, and he was going to be blocking face to face. So who do you think River was going to block? Because he was talking.
I wasn't sure.
A lot, because he was saying things like, "Oh, this is an opportunity to do something really strategic, take out one of my competition." Yeah. And so when he was saying that, I'm like, "Oh my God, is he going to block Chloe?" Oh my God, because she would be competition. And then I was like, "Oh, maybe who else would be big competition? Maybe Trevor." Oh my goodness! And so I was worried. You were too?
I definitely was thinking. Yeah, I was definitely thinking he might get Chloe, just because she had won 2 influencers in a row, and talking about game-changing moves and people that are his competition. I thought it might have been Chloe for sure, or possibly even Courtney. I was like, maybe he'll blindside Courtney.
I thought about Courtney for a second, but I was like, Courtney hasn't been rated high that many times, and so I don't think that he's that big of a threat. But Courtney would be putting him in a top spot. So I thought about him, and then I was like, no, he's not going to take out Courtney because it's definitely not a threat to his game. But he decides to go and visit Mitchell. So Mitchell is who he decides to block. I mean, I'm happy that he did this because I didn't want any of the old players to be out here. And Delisa's plan didn't work, even though I wanted it to work, but Delisa would have had to have gotten herself in the #1 position, and she didn't. Yeah, she got the plan in play too late, but plan was working, but she needed to also figure out how to get people to get her in the #1 spot, and she didn't think that far ahead. Right. Yeah, but still, good try. You thought Chloe as well, Natasha? Yeah, I thought it was going to be Chloe because Chloe's at least every other blocking, she's been an influencer. So she's likable. She's in that two different trios. She's in the Kardashians. He doesn't know that was with Mitchell and Delisa, but she knows that she's in a relationship of some sort with Trevor. So Chloe's pretty covered all around. And so it would have been a good opportunity for him to take her out.
100%. And Chloe's at this point is in a great position. So
I don't think that Americans are going to let a Brit win, to be fair, but I really like Chloe.
I do
So
too. I didn't think I would. She would annoy me, but I actually really like her.
yeah, she doesn't annoy me at all. At all. So I don't remember what really they talked about at their meetup between Mitchell and River. Kind of like, oh, like I am a catfish. Like that's I'm a writer, and he kind of just explained a little bit like why he came in as River. And Lee did fangirl a little bit because Mitchell did say that season 1, his brother and his mother were on. He's like, oh my god, I'm a big fan of the Circle. I know them. Fangirling. Was there any else about their meeting that that stood out?
No, I mean, I think he took it really well, especially being so close to the end. I thought he did take it really well. I thought their meeting was really sweet, and I was a bit surprised that he would have gone after Mitchell instead of someone else. So, but yeah, nothing really stands out other than the fact that, they talked about why. Like, I wish I had talked to you sooner. Do you know what I mean? So I think that he understood why he did it, and it was very cordial. So
Yeah, it was a nice meeting. Dolores is saying that she thought that he was just saying that for the camera. I don't think that he would actually block Chloe or Courtney. Well, if he did block Chloe or Courtney, it wouldn't really make sense with how people voted. Like putting, say, they would probably figure out that River was the one that did it just by like, I put him in number 1. I put him in number 1. Like, who else would it be then? It wouldn't be Mitchell that would be the influencer because nobody put him in number 1 spot. Maybe it could be Trevor, but I think that they would be able to figure out it was River, and it would probably be worse for him down the road. So I think that that's why he didn't do that in the end. It would have been incredible if River blocked Courtney. Oh, it would have been very dramatic. Dramatic for sure, but I don't think it would be the best gameplay for him to win. Right now, River's trying to win, and so I think that he needs Courtney's number 1.
He needs Courtney.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. Do you have anything else to say about these final 4 episodes? We have one more left next week that we can talk about on maybe Wednesday even. Wait, it comes out Tuesday night, right? Like Wednesday early morning, correct?
It comes out 3 a.m. Wednesday Eastern time.
So
yeah, it'll probably be Thursday again.
Okay, no problem. Anything else about this episode that you want to chat about? Or these episodes?
No, I was pretty happy with it. There was a lot of entertaining things, a couple of shady moments, a lot of heartfelt moments. It kind of had a little bit of everything for the last 4, and I really enjoy. We talked about this before, like Jack and with Lisa, and how they didn't do so well separately, but I think they're doing so much better together as a different person. So I'm excited to see kind of what happens with that for the next episode, because they did rank really high. So
yeah, they're definitely doing a better job there. So who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win now that we know who is in the finals?
I wouldn't hate Trevor winning, Delisa winning. I think she's a sweetheart, and honestly, she's doing it for her little baby. So I wouldn't mind seeing her win. Who do I think will win? I think it depends. It depends on how they rank people on the finale. Like, there's going to be some strategic rankings going on, so it could literally go anywhere. Like, you can't really pinpoint it because it depends on what these people are thinking at the very time when they do their rankings, right? So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I right now, I really, just because she got emotional like in this episode, and so you know that her heart's really in it for her daughter and her family, and like you could just really see that she's a little bit older as well. Like a lot of the people in the circle are in their maybe early to late 20s, and she's already in her 30s, and so you just know that she's going to be doing really well with a good job with the money. Not to say that people young can't do a good job with how they spend the money, but like what she's spending it on for sure. And so she touched my heart, and so I definitely want Trevor to win after these 4 episodes. I don't think that Chloe will win because I think they'll know that Chloe is like the number 1 person to win. And so she's not going to get ranked number 1 by everybody again. River could win it.
I was going to say, I think it could be River or Trevor. I think those are the top 2. Unless strategically everyone votes River and River lower and Chloe lower, then it could bump John up. So John could potentially win, or Trevor or River. I think those are one of the 3
upset. Whoa, that would be a big upset if John won. Like, I like John, but I want characters that have been there for at least from the beginning or close to the beginning to win. So I just know them better. I'm more involved with them. I just don't like personally people coming in at the very end and then like snagging the money from people that have been there for the entire time. So but they really should be John that wins though. If like people are ranking, everybody's ranking strategically, John should be the one that wins because they should be putting all the people that are their competition at the bottom. So we'll see what happens. It should be a pretty exciting final episode. I wonder if it's going to be longer than an hour, just because they might have a lot of stuff to pack in there maybe. But yeah, we'll be talking again next week. So are you working on anything or playing any games that you want people to follow you on, or any socials you want to share?
Yeah, I guess I got a new one, so it's not really new, but it's new to this channel anyway. So next month, May, there is a live game called The Michigan Mole, and it is going to be aired on the Michigan Mole Facebook page. So if you want to head over to that group and follow, the cast has already been revealed. The game will be live in person from the 20th to the 24th, so feel free to go there, check it out. And watch. They'll be streaming live videos during the game throughout the day when it starts. So check it out.
When you say live, it's like they're actually, because it's in the States, they're able to interact with people.
Yes.
They're not in lockdown.
No, they're not in lockdown. But yeah. So there's going to be obviously some like restrictions in place, and there's going to be a lot of people are already vaccinated that are going. So. But yeah, it's in Michigan. I'm on production, but obviously I'm not going to be there because, our border and blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, so definitely check it out. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be exciting, because by then the circle will be done and there's not really much on in May. So check it out.
Definitely going to be checking it out. I remember when you were originally, did you end up having the season that you were asking me to play? Did that season happen?
This is the first season. So this is the inaugural season. This season, we started casting and preparing for this like 2 years ago.
Yes.
And we were supposed to do it right when COVID started, like May of last year, but we had to postpone it twice now. So this is they're finally doing it now. So
awesome. Like, I love the Mole, so I'm definitely going to check it out and see if I have any favorite players. And depending on how the content is shared, maybe we can cover it. How long is the whole season? Is it over a weekend?
Over the course of over 4 days, yeah.
The long weekend. Okay. Cool. So yeah, maybe we'll check that out. That's super awesome. And let's see, what's this last thing that Dolores is saying here? I agree that I think River or Trevor will win. Dark Horse John. Arg. Yes, arg. They showed a preview of upcoming episodes and it looked like there were a couple of back and forth snipes. Really? So we'll see what happens. And if you haven't done so already, please do us a big favor and subscribe to Reality Realness. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're about 174 away, which is really, really close. And so if you subscribe, take a screenshot, send it to Reality Realness with 3 S's at gmail.com, and I will enter you in a draw that I will do live for a $100 gift card to Amazon. So do that. Let me give away some money. Let me do it and get to that 1,000 subscribers. So yes, Michigan Mole, Dolores. Yes, ma'am. So we'll follow along and maybe we'll do some coverage over that weekend here on Reality Realness. So have a great day, guys. I will talk to you next
Good
week.
night.
Bye.